more than that, because there are lots of physicians. I know some. They're doing very strange experimentation. There are beings from portals coming in and out. It's physicists from the CERN who told me this.
They've testified to beings coming in and out of portals.
Yes. And they were saying, I mean, I met them at a dinner, and there were two of them, and both said that, yes, they have, secondhand proof that the people who they're dealing with the boson of Higgs and the subatomic things. So they have apparently in the bottom of the CERN this portal, this door where they are dealing with all the subatomic dimensions. They say there are 17 different dimensions of reality. That's what those physicists say. Some others say there are more dimensions. We know the time, space, the tridimensional X, Y, Z in a graphic. But then you have more dimensions, and they are playing with that. They're using that, and we're a group, and they had a being. They did not tell me more, who came that doesn't resemble a human. And then they had another one, and they have a proof because they left a scarf. They left a scarf. And now, when you look at what is going on in the CERN, there is a fight from some of the military agencies, intel. They say that there is a fight on time. They're trying to change time. I'm just saying that because as a scientist, you cannot not say something so important. Because if you can deal with the smallest energies on Earth, you can imagine.
Military liaison between the Pentagon and NASA. I'm here as a anonymous whistleblower to tell everyone that what happened on April the 8th was not an eclipse. What happened on April the 8th was called Project Pegasus. It's been in the planning for years. What occurred, not an eclipse, since the moon was beside the sun during it and not crossing it. And also it's for both in Pisces. The whole thing is ridiculous, and that's how much credit the government gives all of you, because they'll do something that blatantly wrong, inaccurate, just impossible, and yet they know that Americans, they'll be called conspiracy theorists if they even bring it up, so they do it, and they don't even care, okay? So what did they do if there wasn't an eclipse? The biggest thing you have to realize is the coincidence, which was no coincidence, of CERN being turned on that day.
It is near impossible to explain or understand for most of us, but monumental nonetheless.
CERN was turned back on that day, and immediately after it was turned on, this is what appeared in the sky above CERN in Switzerland on the 8th. A literal portal was created above CERN, and this was actually predicted, which is one reason why it was filmed by many people who were in the know. But ever since they discovered the Higgs boson in 2012, the God particle, that's when all of this contact began to occur.
Using a particle accelerator, believe they have found the subatomic particle known as the Higgs boson, otherwise known as the God particle. There you have it.
Because this whole thing of Project Pegasus was about CERN. Through its experiments with the God particle and particle acceleration in general, they achieved quantum entanglement. Quantum entanglement is a phenomenon when, by working at the quantum level and getting to the true incredible energy of particles, once they combine or collide, there was something that occurred where the quantum entanglement manifested in a being emerging from another dimension, another alien being that emerged. Through that, this was a couple years ago, through that introduction, through that communication, 3 governments got involved in a negotiation that occurred in a very bizarre way, because it didn't actually happen in person. I'm not going to waste time explaining how the negotiations happened. But between Russia, China, and America, they dealt with this species, and this species offered a deal. And the deal was that we would be given something if they were allowed to come here to Earth and basically set up a secret base. What did we get, and what's their secret base about? Okay, I'll just quickly tell you. What we got was AI. Think about it. Didn't AI emerge out of nowhere 2023? And didn't it emerge, not just out of nowhere, in an incredibly mature, sophisticated level?
And with the whole AI thing, I did say in one of my videos about how AI was coming out in multifold in the years to come. So basically telling you that they can read and harness so much data, sending it into AI, which AI, obviously the demon, they're harnessing into the technology. If you don't want to believe that, then a lot of the AIs have been saying there's some other being recently, and a lot of people have been using these apps pretty much identifying that.
Of complexity that kind of makes sense for a new technology. And even now, 1 year into it, a year and a half into it, whatever we're at, it's getting scary what it can do. I mean, it's indistinguishable from reality in some cases. Okay, so that's where we're at 2 years into AI, and that's because AI, like a lot of our technology, like the microchip and other things that we got from Roswell and the Greece, this is another technology from another higher level species. And let me just add this, for those who think that AI is about making funny pictures or interesting videos and stuff, sure, it can do that, and that is the consumer-facing end of this technology. But if you knew the intent of AI in terms of how it will impact your everyday life very soon, you might take a gun to your head and blow your brains out. It is that radical of a shift. What the government intends to do with this shiny toy called AI. So that's what we got. In return, they got basically the southern half of Antarctica, below the South Pole. And that is what, well, let me, first things first, what the hell happened if not an actual eclipse? Well, a couple things. Number one, they required, in order to do this, and when I say do this, the event to happen on the 8th was the alien species coming through to our dimension. In order to come through, they required a few things. Number one, they required loosh. What is loosh? Loosh is the energy expended and exhibited by human beings when they are collectively excited and focused on something, like at a rock concert or during church or something like that.
Oh, it's emotional. I can't explain why, but it is. We had tears, we had screams, we had fireworks.
So by having so much of the planet looking up at a certain time of day and everybody giving their attention and their emotions to it, which, by the way, if you watch some videos, you had newscasters crying.
It just took my breath away, the whole thing.
That was a bit odd that they were crying, and the reason they were crying was because it was an incredibly emotional thing, because the aliens made it so. The aliens made it so because the energy created or received from the loosh, and again, I've defined what loosh is.
What's that all about?
That loosh energy, coupled with the energy of the sun, allowed them at the time of the quote-unquote eclipse for their mothership, which is what that circle was. It wasn't the moon. Their mothership came out of nowhere, entered into the area of the sun, stopped. Did you notice how it stopped for an inordinate amount of time in the center when it should have been continuing at the very slow crawl rate that the moon typically does? Well, it didn't. It stayed there for a bit of time. And that's insane, okay? That's another blatant giveaway. And again, the government thinks that no one's going to notice, or if they notice, they'll be branded a conspiracy theorist, and they don't care. So they just allowed it to happen. This ship basically connected with the sun at that moment and got an incredible amount of physical energy required for them to enter through the dimension. Coming in from another dimension takes an incredible amount of energy.
And what she's saying about Antarctica kind of lines up with the big picture, because when the April 8th eclipse happened, Antarctica had an anomaly underwater show up. And a lot of people were saying, yeah, because CERN opened up the portal. But if these beings were given this deal in Antarctica, then guess what? Recently, that same thing opened up again. And check out what they say about this.
You remember the big waves that were down here a couple weeks ago and everybody said it was a glitch? Well, it's back and this one's different. Now, I have an idea of what I think it is, but I can't say it. Now you see here that the waves are low and it gradually inclines and then it declines. There, the other one was just a big old mass. But as you go by the hours and the days, you see that it affects all the other waves around it. And when you zoom in on this, you see that waves are going northeast, south, and west on here. Almost like something was dropped or something imploded underneath. Now when you sit here and you increase this by the hours and the days, you see that it eventually gets close to Cape Town to where 20-foot waves are expected today or tomorrow. And there is a camera here and I will be looking to see what it looks like. Now when I come over to the vessels, I don't see anything that's down here, and usually you see ships that are coming across here. So you tell me, what do you think?
Dimensional warfare is happening, and we're going to talk about how the new agendas are coming. So now that the war has started to break out, they want to actually use these moments for a huge energy field. So right now, as we speak, there are some big operations in process with the Large Hadron Collider. They are ready and set to begin a new phase now in the world and use this energy of moments around them to harvest, to create these dimensional aspects of new realities, to form a new energetic field for the dark power. The weird symbolization that they want to use these moments for something. About a month ago, someone wrote an article about it and predicted something would happen this month. Unfortunately, coincidence? CERN LHC, to double the power, is a spiritual stargate which consumes and offers negative energy from our realm in exchange for interdimensional knowledge and technology. This is why I'm speculating that there will be chaos before and likely during the startup of the LHC run this year. And if you see their schedule for LHC, you realize how well everything has lined up. IRL operations, recall SPARS 2025 through 2028, also recall 2012. CERN coincidentally found the Higgs boson God particle that year. Many believe we were shifted to a different timeline since. So the Illuminati New World Order is going to use this and try to manifest more of their spiritual demons, and that's why exactly the people of the light has to know this, and this video has to get out, because this changes a shift in pattern in the pattern storyline that they want to create. So we have to use internal spiritual power to bind these demons, using the name of Jesus, using the spiritual integrity, the courage, the heart, the willpower that we have, because this is the moment of the dark ages where they try to push and manifest darker things. But I don't want to manifest that, so I'm thinking this is the moment of the age where we exist in harmony together, and we need to create that reality every single day in our mind, externally, and just try our best to interact with others in a better way, because they're trying their best to siphon off our energy. And I did another video about CERN that you must check out here, because it ties into this in a big way.